that you said that Twitter is the death of wonder. What did you
Correct.
mean by that?
I mean, sometimes I'll just wonder something and I'll think, oh, I wonder about this. Socrates talks about that as well, how important wisdom begins in wonder. Um, and I'll think to myself, oh, that'd be a really interesting thought. I'd like to put that out and see what the response is. But if I would do that, I get I don't even know how many people, and this is a function of the platform and anonymous, trolling and people that fake accounts. I just get, 500 people telling me I'm an idiot or a moron or a Nazi or things that have nothing to do with anything, as opposed to just saying, oh, or I wouldn't even mind if they said that it was a stupid thought, which is fine. I have a lot of stupid thoughts. We all do. But it's Twitter in particular has a great potential to, you put a thought out, someone builds on it, but all of that is corrupted by a small minority of people. And God, who was it? I was just talking to about this. I was just talking to shit. I really want to tell you who I can't remember his name, but I think it's a small number of people who destroy the discourse. But it's where wonder goes to die. Because if you do that enough, if you train yourself to stop wondering about things. Right? Twitter's a terrible place because every time you wonder, you'll be criticized, and that which is rewarded is repeated, and that which is punished is ceased. Stopped. And so, Twitter is a truly horrible platform. James Lindsay, you interviewed him, said it's like a sewer that follows you.
Oh, that's a great quote.
Yeah, but it is where wisdom, where wonder goes to die. You can't worry about anything on Twitter.
Yeah. Well, at the risk of getting
yeah, go ahead.
At the risk of being jumped on for wondering something, I've been thinking a little bit about an idea that I think it was Keith Richards said. I remember it was from a documentary. I think it was the Beatles anthology documentary. And it was Keith Richards being interviewed. And they were talking about why the 60s, why that period in the mid 60s, early 60s, why they come out with such amazing music. And they said that it was the hardship of the 50s and the rationing period in Britain after the war. And, the kind of rebuilding, and everyone was very poor because the war had cost us a lot. And, things obviously started to improve, but he said that, the hardship bred this, and the fact that everyone believed in freedom of speech and expression and ideas. We just finished defeating the Nazis, and who were very against all those things. And that was kind of drawn into the concept as well. And basically they said that freedom combined with the struggle gave them the best music and the best art that was possible to create. You've got to have a certain level of affluence in the society to allow people to make the art. But then I've been thinking about having been at a music festival there that was very much, it's one aimed at adults. So I was working there, and the kids all come along. It's like a family festival, but the music is aimed at the adults. But everything there that was great was from the 1980s and 1990s. That's obviously not the case at every festival, but I was just looking around being this is a real monument to the kind of decline of the arts in a way. And then
it could be because the technology switched, from your island, Pete Townsend or Roger Daltrey, from the Who, or Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd or any of those. So when they they actually had instruments that they played. It wasn't synthesizers, and that had a certain level of skill and talent. And now you can replace that technologically. So that could also be a factor.
Yeah. I mean, I think I would have agreed with you more because at the start of the pandemic, then I figured, I was like, oh my goodness, all of my favorite musicians are going to have 18 months. Well, I didn't know it was going to be 18 months then, but they're going to have months here probably now to sit around and write music and create, and they're going to come out with like maybe this is going to like just be the start of like a period where everyone, all like the great artists of our generation, go in and like use this time to make their best work ever. And there's been nothing that I've seen like that's come out of this that's particularly I don't know, interesting. And I feel like, I don't know, the increased censorship and everything has sort of stacked up, and it's just like an idea that's floating around my mind.
No, I think that's a tremendous insight. I really think that's a tremendous insight. And sometimes when I'm having a rough day, I wish, this is going to sound terrible to say, but I really wish that they would win. And I wish that their children and their grandchildren would be consigned to the world they've created to suffer eternally, right? To just live in chazes, have no freedom of speech, freedom of assembly, freedom of the press, and they will see the world they've created.
Mm.
The suppression of art, the suppression of music. I mean, we can already look at totalitarian systems around the world. We know exactly what that looks like. So it's not like you don't have to do that much imagining, right? So, I've been screaming about this stuff for years. Nobody's listening. Nobody listened. Now we're in the mess that we're in now. And the question is, how do we get out of that mess? And the only way out at this point, given institutional capture, the only way out is that you have to change the moral mind. You have to change the way people think about these ideas morally.
Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the podcast. Don't forget our sponsor, ExpressVPN, and my book, Brexit, the Establishment Civil War, can both be found in the links in the description below. And also, please like, share, and subscribe to this podcast. It's the best way to help us grow. Until next time, thanks for listening. Screw the hedge funds.
You can make as many rules as you want, but if there's no teeth behind them, what's the point?
Well, like Citadel is potentially just gone in a few months. It feels like financial institutions, that they are all laughing at us by buying GME. Screw the hedge funds. Like, I will lose my entire investment if it brings them down.
Why on earth, last May, could you buy the entire company for $200 million?
What's been happening on Reddit and in social media and in the marketplace has never been seen before.
I argue that nothing is off the table. There is nothing off the table when dealing with the volumes of money in something as big as the United States stock market.
The hedge funds have clearly underestimated a group of people raised on Friday night World of Warcraft raids.
Dark pools, they're another mechanism to manipulate and cheat. Mainstream journalists don't say these things for a number of reasons. One is their sources are the people that I'm talking about, and so they can't call somebody a crook.
Superstonk and the other communities that have emerged are a hive mind, the likes of which we have never seen before. It's madness and brilliance, insanity and genius all rolled into one. It's very possible that Citadel will be gone in a few months. And not just Citadel, but the entire financial system has the potential to come crashing down. These crooks continue to gamble recklessly with the world economy, and this could be the moment that they finally get their justice.